muscle mass and how it can affect what you're doing. So for myself as a kettlebell sport athlete, I have to realize that there's a lot of things that I'm not going to be able to do exactly the way that the world champions are. Okay? Because I'm not built like many of them. Now, there's definitely some special people out there that have a lot of muscle mass and just, they're special. But for me to be able to get into the position for kettlebell sport, to have a rack position, I'm not going to be able to grow a longer humerus, okay? So my elbow is not going to be able to touch my iliac crest of my hip for that proper resting position. Now I can get into a great rack position, but let's think about all the other things, because I've built a lot of muscle over the past 20 years of lifting, more, something like that. But anyway, I'm not going to sacrifice the muscle and the structure that I built to be able to do certain things. Now, I like to do them, but I'm going to do the best that I can, okay? So think about this. Certain people, I love to do yoga and go to different friends' classes and seminars and stuff like that and attempt to do the best that I can. Just because I can't get into certain positions due to the size of my adductors and quads and stuff like that doesn't mean I can just do more of it, okay? Because the muscle that I've built there has to have a place to go. And if it doesn't have a place to go, it's just like having a tire that's too big for the wheel well of your car, okay? So yeah, you can turn that wheel as hard as you possibly can. The tire is going to rub against the wheel well because it doesn't have a place to go. So think about that. That's about your muscle. So if you're searching for better range of motion in certain movements and things like that, you may just not be able to do so. Don't let that get in your way. Don't let that bother you and tell you that you're a failure. You just got to work with what you have, and if that's important to you to keep that muscle mass, you might not be might not be a yoga instructor, or you might not be a kettlebell sport athlete or something like that. There's going to be exercises that are going to be more challenging for you to do, and it's not that you're doing them wrong. You just might not be able to do them how the people that are really, really good at them can, because of how the differences in build, the differences in muscle mass, the differences in body fat, the differences in torso and lever lengths, legs and your appendages and stuff like that. So some people are great at deadlift. Some people are great at bench press because they're built for that. So if we stop comparing ourselves with what other people can do and focus on how we can do it better. Do you want to get more flexible and more mobile? Sure, that's cool. So I do too. And I also might reach a point, and you have to be okay with this. You have to if you reach a point where that's the farthest you're going to get, like I said, you're going to have to be okay with it. I know that I'm not going to get much more stronger in a deadlift because just how I'm built, and I'm not willing to sacrifice certain things that I've built. So I have a number in my head that I've reached, and to me, I'm strong enough, okay? Kettlebell sport, I got a number that I've reached, and if I never go past that in a competition, I know that I'm doing my best, and that's really all that matters. I don't try to compete against others unless we're very, very, very similar in build and experience and all that stuff. I train for fun. I don't want to turn training or competition into something that makes me feel bad. I see a lot of people that are competing on an amateur level that have personal records and are very upset with their placings or very upset with their repetitions. Afterwards, you have a personal record. That should be great. Sure, you might have wanted to envision doing 20 more reps, but the thing is, you still had a personal record. You gotta don't let your mind screw you out of you actually doing great, okay? So anyway, think about these things that your build will affect what you'll be able to do. Your build will affect how you're able to train, and you know, genetics, or call it whatever you want, it's going to affect a level of where you're going to be able to be. I can love basketball all that I want, but I'm probably never going to be at an NBA level, no matter how hard I try, even if I was, you know, starting back in high school, stuff like that. So while I like the thing, like, you know, you can be whatever you want, that's kind of setting up people for failure, certain things. So when I have clients that come into my gym and say, I want to be at this level at this time, I'm going to tell them whether they think they're going to get there or not. Whether that's a realistic goal or it's just something that's just kind of in their head. Yeah, they can shoot for it, but as long as you're shooting for being the best that you can and not comparing yourself to others, I think you're going to be a lot more better physically as far as injury prevention, but also better off mentally up here. And in the long run, think about that. Those are those things that you're going to use exercise for, is longevity. So think about how you're built, all that stuff. It does have a lot of weight in what you can do. So talk to you guys later. Joe.